on, everybody? Jay here, your host for Incredible Events Podcast. And today I'm going to talk to you about a very important subject. Now, okay, so here's the deal. I've been an event planner, event coordinator for a long time, and we work at Incredivent with a lot of event planners. And something that I'm seeing consistently of these days that I'm hoping that by you checking this out, you're going to think this through and you're going to make it a part of the critical infrastructure that is your events. Marketing plans. Too many event planners don't think about marketing plans. And I get it. You get really excited over your event idea and you go to town on the production. You think everything through down to the last little detail. And then you put it live and you go, why aren't people buying tickets? Well, people, just because it's a good idea, there's lots of good ideas. I mean, there's so many good ideas out there. And just because you have a good idea does not mean people will come and check out that good idea. You need to sway them. You need to persuade them. You need to teach them why it's important. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover, how many do I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Would have been nice if it had been even 10, right? I'll try to go for 10. 10 points, basic points that you need to cover if you want to throw an event. I'm going to leave out a lot of the traditional marketing stuff because for a lot of people, traditional marketing like newspaper, radio, and all that, it doesn't really factor in. I'll do that on a separate episode talking about traditional marketing and how you can kind of maneuver traditional marketing to work towards your advantage. But I'm really going to talk about the basics as they apply to digital marketing, okay? And you can apply some of these principles to traditional as well, but I really want to focus on digital for today. So let's jump in because marketing is as critical as your production, and too many event planners do not plan out their marketing. And by marketing plan, I mean actually write out a marketing plan covering all aspects, target customers, pricing, how you're going to draw them in, what kind of content you're going to use, who you're going to get involved, all those sorts of things. So make an actual marketing plan. All right, point 1. So here's the deal. I'm just going to put my points in front of me so I don't forget any. Point 1, if you're doing an event, you've got people involved, right? You need to figure out, regardless of whether they're celebrities or influencers or just your boy down the block that's helping you push it, you need to figure out who's doing what. What are the commitments in terms of marketing? So I'll use a celebrity as an example because it's just easier to say with a celebrity. I don't know your boy around the block, so I don't know what he's capable of. Maybe he's got 1 million Instagram followers. I don't know. But let's use a celebrity like, I don't know, Hugh Jackman. Let's say you got Hugh Jackman coming to your event and you aren't sure about what kind of marketing he's willing to do. That's your first problem. You have to be sure about the marketing you're going to do. So at the time of contract or the time you bring somebody on, put it in writing. What are your commitments to be involved with this great event? What do you have to do to push said event? Okay. You have to get that out of the way. If you don't do that very critical, very basic thing, you're going to end up in positions that I've seen a lot of event planners in. And that is where they're like, I have a great idea. I've got great celebrities. This is fantastic. Then they find out because they didn't write up the contract, the celebrity is not promoting the event. Sucks. It really can, it ruins the event. But you ruin the event because you didn't get this clear. So you have to make sure that when it comes down to it, you put in writing what everybody involved in the event is committed to in terms of marketing. And then you need a person to hold them to it because they're not going to do it. In 99.9% of the cases, they are not going to do it. So you need someone checking up on them, making sure that everything's getting done. Okay. So, and if you want, when you get people on board, like staff, promoters, celebrities, whatever, you can go on Incredivent and you can give them a custom PV link, custom promoter link, which, pretty much goes for affiliates, influencers, promoters, vendors, staff, all that. And then you can track their sales. But at a marketing basics for marketing, make sure that you've got their commitments on paper in writing and that you got someone tracking it. All right, what's up next? Let's talk about digital organic. Have a plan, a daily plan for your event. on digital, whether that be Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Twitter, Truth Social, wherever it is that you're marketing your events, have a daily organic plan. And the easiest way to come up with a daily organic plan, if you're not big into the content game, here's the basics. And this is all about the basics, and I'll get into more nuts and bolts in future episodes. But the basics say this: if you're going to be posting content daily, you should be posting content that either educates or entertains. There's nothing else, okay? So make sure that you're not just putting out the same flyer every single day. Do a countdown, release new information, go into more detail about information. And if you start getting into big audience numbers where your tickets are selling, get into the rules, get into how things are going to work, show sitemaps, get drops from the talent that are involved, show the setup, show the preparation, get behind the scenes. There's all kinds of content you can put out there, but make sure 100% either entertains or it informs, educates, okay? Now, if you're going to put out a lot of digital organic content, hire a graphic designer, please. That's just a side note. There are so many bad graphics on the internet, and people know. Somebody knows when they see a crappy flyer, a crappy post, a crappy graphic, and they just flip by. They just keep going. You need good graphics, so hire a good graphic designer. Very critical to great digital organic posts. And you know what? When it comes to video, you don't need to have professional lights and professional camera and professional mic and all that. You can do some pretty great video just off your phone, holding up selfie mode, maybe staying up in the corner as you guys are doing some setup for the event. Whatever it is, let people in and educate and entertain. All right, next up, paid ads. Okay, so not all you are going to do paid ads. But if you're going to do paid ads, you need to make sure few fundamentals. First, try out a bunch of ads. Do not just throw up one ad and hope to God that it works. Throw up multiple ads, do multiple A/B tests, really dive into what gets the organic reach, or not the organic reach, the reach, the engagement, the shares, the clicks for the purchasing of tickets. Make sure you're watching those metrics and you're constantly fine-tuning your paid ads. You have to, because you can blow a lot of money on paid ads. A lot of these algorithms like Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all that, their algorithms go into the weeds real quick. And all of a sudden you're marketing to people that are not even part of your target market. You don't want that. You want to make sure you stay on task. You make sure the ads stay on task. You want to make sure you're targeting properly. So play with those demographics, play with all the metrics, figure out exactly what's working for your audience and your audience only. Upload your email list to get better targeting. Do remarketing. Remarketing is basically where you place an ad and that's targeted towards people that have already engaged with your brand. When it comes to paid ads, also, if you're local, you do not want to go under $100 a day for your budget. And if you're trying to reach to a larger audience, you take that $100 a day and you multiply that by every, let's say, city that you want to reach. Okay, so reaching 15 cities, $15,000 or $1,500 a day. Okay, and then if you've got more money though, if you've got the ability to put out more money into paid ads, do so, but do so smart. First, if you've never done ads, reach out to the ad network, ask for an ad representative to help you. If not, take a course, okay? These courses are like $20, $30. You can find them online. There's lots of great courses. Learn how to do this. This is not as easy as it seems. And then once you've really figured out through either education, by learning through a course, or by reaching out to the staff that's, helping advertisers make the most of their ads on these platforms, then you can place your ads, do your testing, and then move your budgets around based on what you're seeing. Make sure you're remarketing. But paid ads work, okay? They do if you do them properly. So make sure that you are investing your time and money into making great paid ads. Next up, email lists. Figure out, everybody involved with your production has an email list. Put it together and start blasting out emails. If you got SMS, and it's not invasive to people, you got to make sure you're very careful with SMS, because some people can get really annoyed really quickly. blast that out too. But the biggest thing is email. Blast out emails and make sure that if you're doing something, like I had an event come recently and they were talking about the person who is running the show, and then the show is down here. Didn't make much sense to me because it's his email list. So put the event up here and then put the blurb about him down here. That's how you want to do it. You want to forward sell it and make sure you got links and call to actions in those emails to make sure people click and make sure people buy if you've got advanced tickets going on. Email is critical. Make sure it's well designed. Make sure the messaging is concise. Make sure the paragraphs are short. Generally, you don't want to go over 3 lines for paragraphs in email. I know that sounds counterintuitive because it doesn't even sound like a paragraph, but that's just the way attention spans are these days. If people see bricks of text, they're going to skip and delete, okay? And if you're doing email campaigns, run some contests. It's a great way to get engagement. Pull your people off of email into social by doing a social contest, okay? Just keep pulling them because they see your email. Maybe they forward it to their friends if they're really interested. Probably not. However, if you have a contest that sets them up for an easy share to social, there you'll win some really great attention, some really great exposure. And I really believe that if you put great social contests into email, not only will you get more sales, but you will get people interacting. And there's this thing called, it's called multiplier marketing. And that's where your customers become, I don't even know if it's a real term. To be fair, I think I might have just made it up, but maybe I heard it somewhere. I don't know. But multiplier marketing is basically where you take your customers and turn them into your advertisers. Okay, so you multiply your reach. So if I market to you watching this right now, and I give you a great social contest, and you go share it to your people, what are you? You're a customer, and you're an advertiser for me. So great. That's probably the best thing about the internet, to be honest, because when you put up flyers and posters back in the day, you're putting flyers on cars and banging posters onto poster boards at downtowns in your city. There wasn't any multiplier marketing there unless somebody ripped the poster off the board, which then isn't really multiplier marketing because you're losing the eyes that would have seen it otherwise, and unless somebody shares the flyer. Not really, there was no capability there. Here we have multiplier marketing. Work that multiplier marketing, and the best way to do that is through email. Okay, next up, who will help? That's what you need to know. Who is going to help with the marketing? This goes back to making the commitment with them, getting them to commit to certain advertising and marketing expectations. But who is going to be involved with marketing? I know that there's usually production crews, there's usually promotion crews, there's usually the venue crew. Find who's excited about your event and ask them if they can help out. Maybe set up those promoter links I was talking about on Incredivent, and you can get them credit, you can give them commissions, all those sorts of things. But aside from that, just look at who's enthusiastic about your event. It might be you're doing sound check or something and your event is the next night and you see a guy who's, has something to do with the venue and he's loving it. Go up to him and see, hey man, would you mind posting this on your wall on Facebook, or would you mind posting this to your Instagram stories or whatever? You seem to dig it. Would you mind? I would love to help, and be genuine about it. Be like, come up to them as a human being. Don't come up to them and be like, so you really like my event, huh? I would like it if you could possibly. No, don't do any of that. Don't be formal about it. Just be like, what's up, man? I saw you're jamming out here. That's awesome. I would super appreciate it. It would mean the world to me if you could share this to your Instagram story or whatever. Most people are going to do it. But on a bigger picture, look at everybody you have around you that you can use as a tool to get more people, but make sure that every single one of those people feels appreciated, because they're helping you and they don't have to. So just figure out who will help you, who's involved with this show, and work with them to make sure that you reach as many people as possible. Another great thing social is good for, and the internet as a whole. Okay, now next, this is something I'm seeing a lot of these days. Be dedicated to that event and that event alone at scale. So what I mean by that is you can have a bunch of smaller events throughout the year that lead to your bigger event, but only have one big event being advertised at a time, okay? Now, if you got a bunch of small events, that's also bad too. Without a big event coming, you should only have one small event at a time. So at scale, I mean, for each scale of event that you have, make sure you only have one, unless you have smaller events leading to a bigger event. The reason I say this is because I see so many planners that are like, I've got 5 great concepts, I'm going to do 5 big events, and I'm going to be advertise them all at the same time. Now, that doesn't mean you can't do an event a quarter or event a month or however you want to do it, but you have to make sure, guys, you got to make sure of this, that you're not promoting 2 events at the same scale at the same time. It doesn't work unless you've got major social credits. You got a lot of following. You got great celebrities involved. You know what you're doing. You've been blasting through events for 10, 20 years, and you've got your formula down. Then, okay, fine. But for you, you're an exception to the rule. For most of the people that are going to be watching or listening to this, be sure that you're dedicated to that event and that event only at scale in your marketing. Next up, you should be hitting every forum and every Reddit, subreddit, everything that you can find online that pertains to your subject matter. So if you're throwing an event that is profiling a new shoe coming out, that's an easy one, right? Go on. Anything to do with shoes that are like yours, anything to do with fashion that's kind of along the same lines, right? You want to make sure that you're going into these forums, you're leaving comments, you're posting new content, you're giving them reasons to see through entertaining or through informing, and you just put out some great content on these forums. And sometimes, most times, it won't do much. But it takes one really great viral post and then you're set. So it may not happen in your first event, it may not happen in your second event, it may not happen in your 10th event, but it is worth doing because once you get established with that community, you're in. And now you have a resource to advertise all the time. What's next? Okay, let's see. Oh, right. Influencers. Okay, so I've had a love-hate relationship with influencers. I've worked with a lot of influencers over the years. A lot of influencers don't really do what they say they're going to do and don't draw. If you're going to work with influencers, make sure that they can back up what they say with metrics, with actual data, with actual numbers. And if you're going to work with influencers, make sure that they are kind of sort of associated with what you're doing. You have no idea how many event planners, they go and they get influencers, like business influencers for a punk show. What? Why would that be a good idea? Like, I get it. There's going to be some closet punks within their audience. Maybe they're closet punk themselves, but get a punk influencer. Like, find the direct line. Don't go around. Don't create roadblocks for yourself in the way of being able to promote your event. Like, look at it and say, okay, Hugh Jackman, throwing this Hugh Jackman event. Okay. Now, Hugh Jackman, obviously, is going to be there. That's fantastic. Now, what influencers can you get around Hugh Jackman? If you got Hugh Jackman money, maybe you get a video with Ryan Reynolds that's just trashing Hugh Jackman the entire time. Now, let's scale it down. I was doing an influencer event last year. Yeah, it was last year. And we had these 3 influencers involved. And one of them was a singer and dancer. One of them was just, basically an influencer because people liked her. And the other one was a super funny, really quirky influencer, very beautiful, but also really, really funny. And she had ties into UFC and everything, right? Now they were coming together to do their own event. However, if I was doing an event, a corporate event, I wouldn't get them. If I was doing a UFC style event, if I was doing an MMA event, I would get the one influencer that's involved with that. If I was doing some kind of R&B or some kind of dance event, I would go with that other influencer. And for the influencers just generally popular, anything that was orientated towards women of her age would have been perfect. Pick and choose your influencers, work with your influencers. Again, just like your talent, make sure you lock in with them exactly what they have to do. And I don't care what anybody says. You have to make sure that when you're working with influencers, you keep on top of them, okay? And you find a metric that you can use to gauge their success and work in bonuses based on their success. So if you're working in a custom link, like a promoter link that you can use on Incredivent to sell tickets, give them that link. Tell them to push that link as hard as they can. And if they reach a certain benchmark, like let's say it's 1,000 tickets, then you give them a bonus. And if you reach 10,000 tickets, they get a bigger bonus and all that. It depends on the influencer. The little micro local influencers, they might just do things for tickets. But once you get into the big leagues, it's going to be all about the money, and you have to figure out ways to make them hungry enough to work for you and to make sure that your marketing is great through them. But also, you have to make them feel like they're appreciated, because they are. Every single day, people are going on their social media and hitting them up. They're like, "You're so beautiful. You're so talented. You're so awesome. I love you," right? They get all that admiration all day. If you don't show them some admiration too, they're going to be like, "This person doesn't really care about me." So don't be insulting. Don't be like, "You get no money and then you get money when you reach these certain goals." No, be like, "Here's what I'm going to give you up front. Here's what I can afford to give you up front. Here's what I can afford to give you every time you reach a new milestone." Influencers are just like talent. You have to keep on top of them. But if you find the right fit, you're going to get amazing success working with them. All right, next up, last one, video. Guys, oh, gee, the number of events that I see that don't have video, it's staggering. I would say it's probably still about 60-70% of events that get posted. You guys need a video. Get a video for everything you do. Video sells, and people watch event videos. To give you a tiny, tiny window into this, on Incredivent, okay? Events that have no video and events that have video, okay? These are what the metrics are. Events that have no video, the average time on the event page is 1 minute and 33 seconds. Events that have video, it's 1 minute and 33 seconds, plus another 45 seconds for investigation, plus the amount of time they spent watching your video. Videos sell, especially something called the sizzle reel. The sizzle reel is basically taking as much action, as much excitement as you can, packing it into a video as short as you can make it, and just blasting some great music or some really impactful motivational words, whatever it is. A sizzle reel gets you excited. It sells the sizzle. And then at the event, you make the steak. But make sure you have a video, even if it's a short 10-second video, as long as it informs and it entertains and it's hot as hell and people love it and they watch it and they get really excited. Like, you have to watch your own video and be like, "Oh, I'm excited for my event." And I'm going to end off here because I want to insert 2 videos you guys are about to watch, okay? The first one is something we did for Fear each year. It was a short film, a short horror film that we made. Now, okay, don't hold my acting against me, all right? I just do that because it's fun and I really enjoy doing it, and nobody else wanted to do it, so I decided to jump in front of the camera. But the video itself really gets people interested every year. So we release this short film every year, and then we release our sizzle reel after. And our sizzle reel is just like, well, you guys will see. You guys will see. Just watch this.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled programs to bring you news of a video that we just received in, one which we can only assume is a warning to the citizens in Winnipeg. Beware, the images that you are about to see are disturbing.
Tell the good people watching your name. I said, tell them your name! Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you scared. If you just listen, everything will be fine. Now tell them where you're from.
Winnipeg?
That's a good girl. And how did you get here, lovely?
You off the street, you sick freak.
Freak? Freak! I brought you here to play games. Don't you like games?
Not these kind of games.
I'm grateful. See this? This is the problem with doing anything for the people. I plan these games. I meticulously come up with every detail. The fear is the art. And I know out there in this town, there are the sadistic, the broken, the lost. But Winnipeg, if you're gonna play my games, you should know that nothing is as it seems.
Dance with me, Sugarums. I love you.
That's so sweet. I love you too. And if I love her, and I do this, imagine what I have in store for you. Now you get to experience the fear.
Open your eyes.
You can run, but you can't hide. Sit down.
Shall we play a game? Oh dear, it's fear, the event with bite. What you see will surely keep you up at night. Zombies blindfold, a killer in wait. Reality, but not for Winnipeg awaits. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. And remember, nothing is as it seems. Welcome to hell.
So there it is. That's 2 videos we did for Fear 5. Sold out Halloween experience. Scaring the living daylights out of people, which I'll talk to you about later. I mean, we really put some people down. It was awesome. And basically what I wanted to show that to you for is that is really good video. Now, I don't think you should go out and get all these actors and do all these things. And you don't necessarily have to be in front of the camera. But I just want to show you kind of like the level that you should be at when you're taking everything really seriously. You're making money from event planning. It's not like you're unsure as to whether you should be an event planner or you're not sure if your events really work for people. These are videos you want to make when you know you've got something and you know the people, you have the attention of the people. But videos can be something super basic, but as long as educating and entertaining, okay? Remember those 2 things. So once you get to the level where people are following you, start creating better and better video, and never, ever, 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 ever run an event without a video. It's so critical to getting people excited. All right. So that's it. That's marketing. If you want to write a marketing plan, this is not an ad. I'm not being paid for this. A business plan or a marketing plan. The site that I use for it is called liveplan.com, liveplan.com. and you can sign up. It's pretty cheap. I think it's like $30 a month or something. And you can go through your entire business plan, your entire marketing plan. You can customize it, or you can do it as it is out of the box. But please, please stop running events without marketing plans, okay? It hurts in the short run. It hurts in the long run. You will never make as much money as you want to. Your events will never be as organized as you want them to be. And you will never, ever be someone that everybody looks to as a great event planner without a marketing plan. All right, so that's it. That's it for this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you got some value out of it. If you did, just engage with us somehow. Reviews, shares, comments, whatever platform you're watching on, subscribe. We really appreciate you watching. I really appreciate you watching or listening to this, but I would extra appreciate, give you super karma points if you can like, share, subscribe, comment, whatever, or review. All right, so that's it for Incredible Events Podcast. This was actually a pretty good episode. I'm glad I got this out of my system. As you can tell, you might be able to tell, I'm kind of frustrated with the number of people that don't have marketing going on for their events. You guys put in so much hard work to the production of your events. Put that work into marketing too, so everybody can see what you've done. They can see how awesome your brain is when it comes to producing events. All right, so that's it. I will see you in another episode.